The basketball community was looking forward to another WNBA day when something went wrong. Fan groups and newsrooms were. Whispers abound a surprise press conference was scheduled, but no one knew why. The enigma was heightened by the names of Sophie Cunningham, Lexie and Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. These weren't your normal league. Players. They represented skill, initiative, and a deep connection to the game. Nobody was aware of what would occur. However, the way they looked together indicated that something important was going to happen. The room became tense as the journalists gathered. Cameras were aimed, pens were ready, and faces showed a mix of excitement and nervousness. Most people expected a team update or even a charity announcement. Rather, when the three women entered, the mood shifted. They had serious attitudes and moved with caution. Clearly, this was not a typical event at TO first. Caitlin Clark barely hinted the primary subject of the meeting. The three women mentioned a nickname, Caitlin Clark, who immediately became well-known in the sport. IT was supposed to be a celebration of her first season. She had broken attendance records, enthused young fans, and increased league exposure nationwide. Her skill and passion on the court make headlines every week. But it became evident that their fans had been watching Clark perform with her usual fire for weeks. And as the session progressed, they discovered more about her tale. Shots advanced her team and scored crucial goals. But closer look revealed a few small changes were observed. The athlete who used to play with a smile every minute seemed to be more reserved, especially. The audience continued to cheer as she proceeded a little more slowly after difficult games, but Clark's responses were more muted. During the press conference, these gaps were filled. The presenters employed simple, yet powerful words to express Clark's inaugural season's demands. There have been additional games. Because of the league's enthusiasm for its new hero, there will be more travel and less leisure to Clark's ability. Strong defenses were raised by the collision. Teams made her work harder for every point, played harsher, and doubled up on her. Each night, in addition to the best players in the league, she had to deal with new tasks designed especially for her. The challenge was enormous for someone with such little professional experience. But the physical challenge was only the start of the story. The presenters progressively disclosed how Clark's rise to fame came at an extra expense as they shifted their focus to the emotional and mental components. All of a sudden, she represented women's basketball. Every move she made was watched, discussed, and challenged. She made appearances in highlight reels, advertisements, and interviews. Fans loved her, but there were critics as well. Every mistake became news. Narrative, every moment spent off the court was still scrutinized as the women talked about the effects. There was silence in the conference room. Every day, Clark's itinerary was packed with between games, flights, and appearances with the media. There was really little time to unwind. The pressure to perform was ongoing. She bore the weight. Enormous expectations from her team, her neighborhood, and fans throughout the country. Even as she smiled for the camera. Clark's healthcare, the announcement got much more depressing. When Clark's health was brought up, the speakers disclosed that, despite their regard for her privacy and lack of specificity, Clark had been enduring discomfort for some weeks, playing against more experienced, formidable opponents each. The physical cost of the night was cumulative. She had endured illnesses because she didn't want to let anyone down, the league or her club, but the cost was becoming too great. People who lived close to her started to worry about her welfare. The most dramatic moment was when the three women united as allies rather than enemies. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie had faced Clark, who was coached by Stephanie White during her rookie campaign. Despite hailing from different origins, they shared one thing: IT could no longer be ignored. The gravity of the circumstance. They proved that some issues were more crucial than victory, or losing by standing next to each other. There was more to the discussion than just Clark's challenges. The league itself was questioned as well. The WNBA has grown quickly because of celebrities like Clark, but its systems had not kept up. Players continued to use commercial aircraft when they occasionally came, worn out in Sorek games. Between games, there wasn't much time for rest. The physical demands placed on athletes, and thoughts grew in tandem with the amount of media coverage. The league had to provide more support in return for all that it had merited. Without assigning blame, the speakers brought attention to these issues. They asked for better schedules, enhanced player support, and a greater focus on health and well-being. The choice seemed clear in the declaration. Respecting its stars instead of just cheering them on was crucial to the league's future. Their triumphs as the press conference drew to an end. The real news was finally disclosed. A decision was made after many private conversations between Clark, coaches, and medical professionals. For the rest of the season, the playing schedule for Caitlin Clark would change. She would completely miss some games if needed, play fewer minutes, and give yourself more time to recover. Making the choice was difficult, but everyone acknowledged that this was the only option to protect Clark's future, despite her desire to play on the court. Everybody on stage, even Clark's competitors, supported the decision. They knew the dangers. Clark was not just a participant. She was a symbol of hope for the league and its followers. Keeping her safe required more than one season. It has to do with the future of the sport. Be wide doing this. The league was making a statement. Even in challenging circumstances, the players' well-being was a top priority as they departed the news conference. Fans and the media realized they had seen a turning point. This was not only the story of an athlete. That IT was a call for reform in women's sports. Ho, White, and Cunningham's courage would always be remembered. They had stood up for a teammate, a rival, and a friend. They had shown the world that true leadership requires aiding others, even when doing so is challenging. For Caitlin Clark, the future would be different. Before she could return to her best self, she would have to wait, recuperate, and relax. Her journey would be keenly watched, but with more consideration and comprehension. To date, IT was hoped that she would return with greater strength and readiness to inspire a new generation of athletes. The press conference was ended, but the conversation had only just started. Fans, players, and coaches started talking about what needed to be changed. The executives of the league were under more pressure to create conditions more favorable for every athlete. Caitlin Clark's first season has its ups and downs. Will be remembered for the moment when the sport decided to put people before anything else. In the end, the remark addressed more than just Clark. IT has to do with the future of women's basketball. The future. The league will grow cautiously rather than rapidly, and stars will be respected and protected. The day had started with uncertainty, but it ended with a call to action and a promise for something greater. And fascination.music.